We are 24 hours away, my friend, from opening day. We finally did it. I feel like a ship lost at sea, and you finally get that lighthouse beam, and you're like, holy shit, it's here. And I am just so excited that we finally get to watch baseball that matters in one day, Adam. Spring training.
It's
You know
so
what?
close.
I always, and we've talked about this, I always get so excited for spring training. And then after like 5 days of it, I'm like, meh.
Yeah, it is just like not, it's, I don't know. It's the same thing when you go to Five Guys, you know? You're like, oh, free peanuts. And then
Yeah.
eventually you're like, okay, when's my burger done?
Yeah, free peanuts. This isn't sustaining anymore. Well,
No,
uh, we made it. It
we
was a
made it.
long, hard off season, but we made it, and I'm very happy that we get to watch our favorite team, the Toronto Blue Jays, in one day here, opening the season at home finally against the Baltimore Orioles tomorrow. Hello and welcome to the Walk Off, everybody. I'm Scott Belford, joined as always by the best co-host in the biz, Adam Mack. We are off the road, dude. Look at us. I'm
Yep.
yelling into a microphone again. You've got that beautiful green background everyone knows and loves, right where we should be. Podcast
I,
studio.
here's what I need to do. I need to take a picture of my dad's condo and then project it green screen behind me.
Superimpose it behind you. That's the green screen we need.
Right?
Exactly. I
Yes,
love it.
indeed. All
So
right.
this is Mailbag. It is a Monday morning mailbag on a Tuesday afternoon and done on a Wednesday because our schedule has been all out of whack with us being on the road and on tour. A huge thank you to everyone in Saskatchewan who came out and saw us, everyone in Alberta who came out to see us. I know that I had a very disappointed gentleman that was at the Lethbridge show, Adam, who said, "Oh man, I can't believe," because Adam and I wound up getting split
Yeah.
up. We were supposed to do Lethbridge, and Adam wound up getting sent up north to Peace River, and I was holding down the fort in southern Alberta. But the gentleman there, French guy, watches the podcast, huge Expos fan, will never buy 100% into the Blue Jays because he sort of blames the Jays for part of the reason why the Expos left. So there you go. That's the
Okay.
typical Expos fan, and I love that.
Well,
And
sorry I missed you.
yeah, there you go. And then we had Edmonton on Sunday, which was just a blast, man. You
Yeah,
killed
real
it.
fun time. Oh,
Yeah.
thank you. So did you, as
Yeah.
always, buddy.
So again, to everyone who came out, thank you so much. We comb through your interaction every single Tuesday, except when we do this show on Wednesday. You can always reach out to us on Twitter at Walk Off Podcast. We have a Blue Sky account that I pay attention to, the Walk Off Podcast, Instagram, the Walk Off Podcast. And then if you need to get your questions and comments in, well, the way around it, the workaround is you join Patreon. You get the Patreon bump, automatically get your comments and questions into the mailbag. And of course, if you are a Patreon member, you get MLB Mondays, which is bonus content, and you get instant access to all of our interviews. So there you go. Let's jump into this, buddy. I know you've got
Okay.
things to do today, so we're gonna not mess around too much here. Famous last words, as I'm sure we will take a hard left turn here shortly. Before we get into this, I do just want to give a shout out to Veracity in our Discord who put together the Walk Off Fantasy League. He's the commissioner this year. Always appreciate it when our grounds crew members take the work and do it themselves. I know that after I think we ran it the first year, Adam. Did we do?
Yep.
Yeah. And then we both were like, we're never doing this again. And then you folks picked up the slack. And so we
There you
appreciate
go.
it. Okay, let's start with Patreon. We're going to go to Trevor, and he goes, "Hey guys, do you agree you need to stack Bo, Vlad, Santander 1, 2, 3 in the lineup? I do, just because it gives them the most at bats to do the most damage as they can. If they don't hit, we are fucked anyways. I don't want to get cute. Joe Siddle is really high on Roden. What a boon that would be, a coup." So I will start with the last comment. Friend of the show,
Roden.
Joe Siddle, is very high on Alan Roden, and I think a lot of us are. He is probably the most tantalizing young prospect coming up that we've had in some time. There's a lot of hope that he really can be one of the best hitters in this lineup, which would, as Trevor says, what a boon that would be. Like to be able to pencil Alan Roden into that 5 hole as a guy who hits doubles, hits a little bit of
Mhm.
power, and hits for average. I mean, that would go so far in lengthening this lineup. He's been on the show numerous times. Good head on his shoulder. Adam, when you look at a guy like Alan Roden, how do you think the fan base should temper their expectations? Like, he has yet to play a major league game, although looked really good in spring.
I would say better than Davis Schneider last year. Not as good as Davis Schneider's rookie campaign.
Okay, well, yeah.
Is that a 0 to 100
That's a 0 to 100.
range?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It is going to be. I don't think he's going to step in as like, oh, he's our number 4 cleanup hitter,
Yeah.
and we just have a freebie just who's going to be a monster for us. I think he could be at times this year. Like I think
Hmm.
he could get hot, and we could be like, okay, let's move him up.
Yeah.
But I think he'll be like a a bat that we are never frustrated to see.
I like the
You
way you
know?
put that. And you know what? There's so few lefties that we have seen over the years that you can say that about on
Yeah,
this team. You know,
truly.
like truly.
Like,
And no disrespect to guys like Cavan Biggio, but there's always been those moments with those lefties where you're just like, oh my God,
yeah,
why are they still in the lineup? Right. So this is
yeah.
a way for them to split up the righties in a productive way. Even if
Hmm.
Alan Roden is hitting seventh, which I am 100% fine with, start him there if you want.
Yeah.
I do think that it really does add some length to this lineup. Now, let's go to the first part of this question, which is Bo leading off, Vlad hitting second, Santander third. And then once again, we're dealing with the problem we've had for the last few years, which is who is the cleanup hitter. Is this how you would want to see the batting order for 2025? Like,
I mean, yeah, yeah, because the idea of a cleanup hitter to me has always been kind of just hokey, like it's I don't know, it's that order, Bo, Vlad, Santander makes the most sense, right? You don't go Vlad, then Bo, then
mhm,
Santander. You don't lead Santander in that pack, right?
mhm.
So it's Santander should protect Vladdy's bat. So he's got to be behind Vladdy. And Bo is the, you
Table
know,
setter getting on.
least power, but most likely to be on base. And that's in theory what you want, right? Is you want guys on base for your home runs so they're not solo shots, right?
Hmm.
It's 2 and 3 home run. That is the formula for a good offense, right? Is guys on base and then home runs. Um, so all that being said, it has to be Bo, Vlad, Santander in that order. Now, is that 1, 2, 3, or is that 2, 3, 4? Right? Is the question. And yeah, I mean, in theory, we have a 29-year-old George Springer leading off,
Hmm.
and now they're 2, 3, 4, and you feel fine about it. But we
35
don't,
year old George Springer has
yeah,
not the same
right.
allure.
So, and we don't really have a guy to be, I haven't seen in the lineup yet who screams,
No one has taken
I put me on in the number 1 slot, right? We don't
exactly
have a 400 on base percentage guy who, takes a lot of walks and can just be on base again as another RBI for the home runs. So in that case, put that whoever is the closest to being that guy, put him as the number 9, and now you essentially have, those guys at
the
two, three,
pseudo
four.
leadoff hitter.
But we don't need to give Andres Jimenez another at bat in the first inning necessarily, right? Like I'm fine with him being number whoever the number nine
No, no,
guy
no.
ends up
I'm
being.
with you. I'm with
So
you. And
I like him as 1, 2, 3.
I do think that this is not ideal, right? I mean, it would be really nice to have that typical high on base, speedy guy in the leadoff spot.
And okay, this is the distinction though, is I think there is like some pushback to like, oh, here we are without a leadoff hitter again. Like I thought that's why we signed Santander, or sorry, without a leadoff hitter, with a cleanup hitter,
Yes,
right? But I think like what you're getting at is that no, we do have a cleanup hitter. We don't have a leadoff guy.
exactly. And you know what?
So even though the
Moving this
four
lineup
spot is
up.
empty, it's not by lack of cleanup hitter. It's by lack of leadoff guy.
And I think there is the possibility for that to arise as we get into the season, right? Eh, Will Andre Jimenez continue to look as good as he did in the spring? Has he turned a corner? Because you know what? If Jimenez can be that 350 to 370 OBP guy and he's going to steal 30 bases, I mean, he has for the last couple of years in a row. He's really good on the base path. And if he can be that dude, then I think we will see him given a shot. Alan Roden might even take some lead off hits here if his on base percentage is good enough to do so. Because, like you said, how you do as David Popkins has put into everyone's head damage, right? How you get that damage done
Hmm.
is you have guys on base for your boppers. And Santander is that guy. 44 home runs last year. Vladdy has hit 30 home runs minimum since 2021. So
Hmm.
yeah, you want guys on in front of these dudes, but there is nobody really taking that job and running with it.
Yeah.
So, to Trevor's point, you want the guys who are going to do the most damage getting the most at bats. And that's Bo, Vlad, Santander right now.
Hmm.
Maybe things
Yep.
will fall into place. We'll see. But right now, that's how I see it. And you know what? Grounds crew, speak up. This is actually a really good question. How do you folks want to see this batting order kind of aligned? And I don't need all nine. Um, but yeah, how do you see the top three, top four, even five kind of working out? We'll revisit this maybe on Friday when we really get into the regular season and how things are looking. All right. Moving on here. This is from Wyatt G. It's funny. I was going to talk to you about this, Adam, before we hit record here, and here we are right in the midst of it. He goes, "Hey, fellas, just wondering when the first long toss episode of the season is. I've been waiting patiently all off season. It really is my favorite part of the channel. Also, what happened to Juan Forno?" So, Juan was a member of the long toss last year quite often. Him and Jordy Bott run the walk-off Mariners. They're still kind of plugging away doing that. In fact, Jordy Bott's even down here in April as a guest on Baseball Town. So, yes, walk-off Mariners still is a thing. As for long toss, and Adam and I have not talked about it yet, but I will start with this. Well aware how much you folks like it. And I am thrilled that you do. Honestly, we put a lot of work into curating the
Hmm.
show and getting the guests and having our regulars and so on and so forth. What sucks is that my job as a comedian is always Friday and Saturday night. I'm on the road a lot, and Sunday just winds up so often being a travel day. Adam plays softball on Sundays, and so he gets busy a lot of times, and we just run out of like room to put it. So I think what we're going to do, and again, Adam and I still need to talk this out, so I'm just kind of guessing here, but I think what we're going to try and do is do it monthly, and maybe that way we're a little bit more consistent with when we're doing it, and that you folks can kind of put it in your calendar and join. It is one of the more fun shows to do because we are doing it live, so we do get that interaction right in there,
Hmm.
right out of the gate. Instant gratification. I like to call it, where we actually know how we're doing and what you're thinking right there, then
Hmm.
and there. It is the most fun.
Hmm.
Again, it's a scheduling thing. So all of this to say, yes, I do plan on doing long toss. Like it is a very fun show for Adam and I to do as well. And it's
Hmm.
great to have the interaction with all of the panelists and stuff like that. Do we have anything firm and concrete for you? Unfortunately, we don't right now. Hopefully, maybe even we can start things off next Sunday, maybe the Sunday after here. Adam and I will sit down and take a look at our schedules and see what we can do. We'll get a hold of Baseball Jen and maybe Mr. Ballard will come back on, see what we can do. You know, we've got all of our favorites, Connor and Lewis. And I mean, there's a long list of people who have contributed to Long Toss over the years. So thank you,
Hmm.
Wyatt, for inquiring. I'm glad you guys all like it, and we'll do our best to get some Long Toss shows out there for you.
Indeed.
Okay, going to Al McGee. Al, of course, we met in Saskatoon when we did the show there last Saturday, 2 Saturdays ago, I guess. And he
Hmm.
joined the Patreon. So thanks for that, Al. He goes, would love to see Brooks Raley or David Robertson brought in to lengthen the pen. Veteran presence who don't have to shoulder a big innings load, but provide more upside than our bottom end of the pen. The Kirk extension is a big deal in shaping the core moving forward. Couldn't agree more. Health will determine who won this deal at the end. So I agree. And we asked this question during our season preview. Is there anybody out there that you would like to see join this bullpen? Eric Swanson starting on the IL. No idea as to exactly when he's coming back. The hope is that it's not a very long stint, but right now the bullpen is already a little thin going into the season here. Um, Brooks Raley, left-handed pitcher, he was injured most of last year, but had a pretty good 2023 with the Mets, pitching 55 innings,
Hmm.
about a 2.8 ERA, and David Robertson, same thing. And you know what? Al makes a really good point that these are veteran presences that you would be fine pitching 40 innings. And that's the thing with these veteran relievers who have been there, done that, have a track record, is that you can rely on them a little bit less and they have
Hmm.
a routine and they stay ready.
Hmm.
Which isn't the case with some young bullpen arms, right? Like
It's
sometimes
true.
they need to be a little bit more frequent in their appearances. You can't let them
Hmm.
sit too long. Like they maybe disengage a little mentally. Just they
Hmm.
aren't those. I mean, if you're 36 and you're still in a bullpen, you're there for a reason, right? You're a
Yeah.
seasoned veteran who has managed to figure out what keeps your body going and what keeps your mind ready. And being able to appear at any point is a huge, huge advantage for your manager.
Hmm.
Tough to
Yeah.
argue. I think David Robertson, I think Brooks Raley, both of them would be helpful to this pen. Are we going to see it happen? I don't know. It is crazy that these are guys that are still available, especially after their last years. So
Hmm.
we'll see what happens. I think if there is another injury or two, we could see the Blue Jays go out there and do something. We've talked about this. We talked about this on the season preview. This is a do or die year.
Yeah.
There's no messing around. There's a reason why we are watching Alan Roden make this team.
Hmm.
They're going with their best bats, they're going with their best arms. So if there is an injury, maybe we do see something like that this season, man. There's so many.
Man, with what you just said though, I'm gonna leave it because I know we have a comment. Ah.
If this is about George Springer, hold it. Hold your tongue.
Yes, thank you. Okay, thank you. That's tough. Thank you.
Jeffrey M wrote in on Patreon. He goes, weird lineup. 6 outfielders, 5 infielders to start the season. Kind of odd, in my opinion. Yeah. And again, I think this really does have to do with a few things. It has to do with Dalton Varsho being injured, so he's not
Hmm.
starting. So you've got Nathan Lucas. You have Alan Roden, who has made the team. Then you got Santander and Springer.
Hmm.
Davis Schneider is going to play some outfield. And yeah, maybe the infield is a little thin. This Blue Jays iteration is literally going with their best bats. You can tell that that's the way that they've kind of compiled this team. There's some weird injuries going on. I don't think this will be the scenario all year long. But yeah, they are carrying 6 guys who can play the outfield right now.
Hmm.
I don't know if it's a bad thing. I think it's just a thing right now. And we'll see
Yeah,
if
it's yeah, the way it all kind of fell together, but
Mhm.
it's
So thanks for reaching out, Jeffrey. Johnny Eaton says, I'm not sleeping on the Red Sox. They've got a lot of big names, but I also get the sense that Clubhouse morale is not smelling roses. Lots of selfish types in there, one disgruntled third baseman in particular. It is awkward. We'll see how this plays out. Like Adam, clubhouse morale and clubhouse talk in general tends to be overblown when it comes to sports, I find. These are millionaires getting paid to do a job, and normally they can
Mhm.
reconcile and compartmentalize their problems. That said, clubhouse problems can also rip an organization apart. you know,
Yeah. You know what solves all that though is winning.
winning.
So it is a little bit of a if they come out the gate hot,
Mhm.
nobody's going to care. But if they stumble at all, maybe it is a spiral out of control situation.
Rafael Devers being so adamantly adverse to moving off of third base has been a little bit of a surprise. I mean, Alex Bregman
Hmm.
is consensus one of the best defensive base third basemen in the league. He's played the hot corner his whole career. He puts up great offensive numbers, and I think he's going to really lengthen this Red Sox lineup. I'm all in on Alex Bregman. I really do think he is going to have a massive year for the Red Sox this season, which actually might even exacerbate the problems with Devers, right? If all of a sudden Bregman becomes this huge fan favorite and they start putting him at third base more and more, something that Shane Bloom promised Devers when he signed him would never happen, right? You're the third
Hmm.
baseman. You're our go to guy, no matter how bad defensively you are. And they did stick to that. I mean, Devers was
Hmm.
a disaster at third base defensively for years. He's still below average, but he's a lot better than
Yeah.
he was. So, how does this all shake out? Will there be clubhouse dissent? I doubt it, but like you said, right? Losing can create some weird divides,
Hmm.
and we've seen it in Toronto, we've seen it around the league. We'll keep an eye on the Red Sox
Something to
and where
watch
they
for
are.
sure.
Yeah. The final one from Patreon, I had to add this one because Mish is literally the biggest Alejandro Kirk fan that I know. And as soon as he signed that extension, she was in full celebration mode. So she wrote in, she goes, of course, since I'm a few days late on this pod, I have a shit eating grin from ear to ear. Validation, vindication, and pride for my Hercules. And then a lot of like emojis of like arms and baseballs and hearts. So,
Well, as she should. As she
you
should.
know
She's
what?
been a touter of Hercules the whole time
The whole
and
time.
happy for her.
Even while we were screaming about Jano and Moreno being the guys, she was right there being like, absolutely not Alejandro. And it played out that he was the guy. And you know what?
Hmm.
We talked about this on the season preview. They needed to shore up catching. It was a
Yeah.
position where you look at the depth within the organization, and there is nothing on the way, at least at the upper levels. And Kirk would have been a free agent at the end of 2026.
Hmm.
So, with no prospects coming up and one of the top catchers in baseball, I mean, Kirk is defensive metric wise considered a top 3 catcher and offensively a top 10.
Hmm.
You know what? Not a bad deal. And the truth is, as long as his body stays together and he stays healthy, even if offensively he isn't what we're after, the value is probably there defensively. So,
Hmm.
all in all, I'm with you, Mish. I think it
Yeah,
was a
it'll be
good
a good
signing.
one
Yeah.
for sure. A necessary one for sure.
Yes. All right, going to Twitter. This is from Cheryl Fullerton. She DM'd us. She goes, "Hi, Scott. Hope all is well with you and Taylor." Thank you, Cheryl. You mentioned in Dunedin. So she was at the Dunedin baseball town, and that's why she's reaching out. She's from Toronto
Sure.
here. You mentioned in Dunedin that the next baseball town is April 17th at Bloor West Comedy Bar. Do you have any guests lined up at this point? So I was actually going to announce this all tomorrow. We've got early bird tickets up and going, but I mean, might as well answer this question now and get it out a day early here. So, yes, Baseball Town is back. We've got the full summer booked at Bloor Comedy Bar for April 17th. The guests are Blake Murphy from Sportsnet and Blue Jays Talk Plus, Julia Cruz from Sportsnet, who is joining Blake Murphy this year on Blue Jays Talk, which is going to run every morning. Love that for Julia, by the way. I absolutely
Nice.
love chatting baseball with that lady. She's got such a great mind when it comes to ball, and very excited for her to be teaming up with Blake Murphy and
Mm-hmm.
being the co-host there. Also very excited to have the team down at Baseball Town, Blake and Julia. And then we also have joining us formerly from Sports Illustrated, now doing some work with MLB.com, Mitch Bannon. Very excited to have him on the show. We've got the boys from Blue Jays Today coming down for a guest spot. We've got the Mariners versus the Blue Jays as our roast battle. It's going to be a really fun show. And actually, you know what? Early bird pricing until April 1st. So tickets are only $20 right now. I will put the link up in the comment section here. If you have yet to come out to a baseball town and you live in Toronto, I really do recommend it. It's not just about the show, the hangout afterwards is great. All of the people are there in their Blue Jays gear, talking the season, talking the game. It's a lot of fun. So, prizes, all sorts of stuff. There's going to be an audience question period. It's a great little show. And I will record it and have it up a day or two later, hopefully, is the dream. So you can check it out after that if you are not in Toronto. And if you're in Toronto, well, hopefully we see you there. Thank you, Cheryl.
Cool.
All right. Moving on. This is also from Twitter. Greg Kennedy reached out and it was just short and sweet. He goes, "Freaking Springer, dude. Like, seriously. He's
Yeah.
practically subtracting runs, potential runs from us at this point. Just can't keep running him out there, killing our scoring chances."
Oh man.
So let's start with this, Adam. Do we give George Springer a little bit of runway here, being that it was spring training? Like I have a hard time completely burying the man for his spring performance, which I will say was god awful. Do you give him a little leeway? Where are you at on George Springer? Grounds crew, feel free to drop your comments too here. Adam's silence speaks very loudly.
It's tough, man. It's tough because 35 will be 36 by the end of the season. He just hasn't been good forever. So me personally, I have a hard time giving him any kind of leeway. Writing it off as like, oh, it's just spring training. Like if Vladdy had a bad spring training, you go, okay, well, whatever. He was too busy doing interviews talking about how much we lowballed him. I get it. But like,
Too busy not being a distraction.
yeah, too busy not being a distraction. I don't know. I don't know how George is going to ramp up. And I'm looking at his numbers the last couple seasons here. So it's like his last really good season, 2019, and we all know
The juice balls.
we don't take that one too seriously for anybody, right? So 974 OPS in 2019. In 2020, in just 50 games, the shortened season there, 899 OPS. His first season in Toronto, 907 OPS. I
Looked
mean,
really
we were
good.
happy with that,
Yeah,
right?
he only played 78 games, but he did look very good in that first season.
The next season, also really good. 25 home runs, 814 OPS.
Again,
I mean,
struggled with health, and that is when the Blue Jays moved heaven and earth to make sure
it
he didn't
was,
play
yes,
another game in center field.
it was 133 games that season. An 814 OPS at age 32. I mean, this was really the beginning of the end for him.
Hmm.
Um, but even in that moment, it didn't feel like it because if you're getting an 800 OPS
Oh
from a
my
guy, you're like,
goodness.
oh, this
Yeah,
is
you
awesome.
run
Yeah,
with
this is
that. You
great.
celebrate it, of course.
Um, and then the next season, a 732 OPS, and then last season, a 674 OPS. So it has just been a steady drop every year since he's come to Toronto.
Hmm.
Now, to dismiss spring training as like, well, it's just spring training, he can turn it around. I just don't know what in the last 4 years of his resume makes you think. And I'm not saying that's what the commenters think. I'm just mean like from anybody doing an analysis on George Springer and deciding should we.
It's tough to buy in that there's a rebound,
Yeah,
coming. And listen, stranger things have happened, and I think that it
like,
would be obviously huge for the Jays if George Springer could
sure.
contribute positively in any way.
So I mean, he's got to be our opening day right fielder, right?
Yeah,
For the ceremony, if nothing else.
yeah.
But more practically, he'll probably be our right fielder for the first week, 6 of the first 7 games kind of thing. And then beyond that, I'd say it's hot hand situation. It's
And
like,
I hope that's how they operate. And I will ask this question to you, the grounds crew members. How long of a runway do you give George Springer? If and I'm not saying you personally, how long do you think the Blue Jays and John Schneider, who again we have mentioned before, has been known for his loyalty? How
mhm.
long do you think John Schneider making these lineups gives George Springer if offensively he continues to look like he has? Obviously, if he's hitting, I think all of these questions and problems go away, right? I mean, if he can, heck, if he can even be 2023 George Springer, where he is putting up a 737 OPS and it's average and he's an OPS plus of 100 and you're like, okay, this isn't the $25 million guy we went out and wanted to get, but he's not detrimental. He plays a good right field. He still is defensively very valuable. But at what point do you think, and again, this is, we'll go over the comments and maybe we'll tackle this on Friday. At what point does Alan Roden start to take the majority of the reps in right field? At what point do you watch George start to sit on the bench a little bit more?
Who's in left? Is it Santander in left?
Santander is probably playing a lot of left field. He's also going to get some DH spots. So
DH times. Yeah, I mean, I think it's in the first week we got Orioles and then Nationals.
I think it's a longer runway than a week, personally. I think it might be a full month.
Oh, that's too long.
I agree, but I
Man,
just,
if we burn a month, we're out of a playoff spot.
yeah, it's possible. I don't know. I don't know. Like it really does
I mean,
depend.
it depends on how bad I guess it is, right? Like, sure. If he's okay and Roden is better than okay, probably not taking Springer's job. Like, I don't, oof, man, Roden would really, and this goes for any prospect name you want to throw in there, whether
Sure.
it's Roden or Barger gets
Barger.
called
Yeah.
up or whoever, right? But I'm just saying Roden for this sake here. Whoever it is would really need to have like a Davis Schneider start to the career
Yeah.
in order for you to like if Springer is serviceable for Springer to lose his job.
Yeah.
But if Springer's I really think this runway is in Springer's hands, I guess is what I'm trying to get at, right?
Yeah.
Is if he is good enough, we'll just put up with it, which is almost too bad. Like
Hmm.
as a fan, it's gonna be frustrating when he is hitting like 223 with like no extra base hits. And you
Yeah.
go, yeah, but he's solid out there. He's not hitting 147. But then, yeah, again, if Roden is just doing like mediocre and also not like setting the world on fire, but Springer's hitting 142,
Yeah.
then you probably do. So I don't know. I guess when I say he's got like a week-long runway, it is because I just anticipate a really slow start to the season where he
Yeah.
is like 1 for 14 in the first 5 games, and you go,
Yeah.
all right, what are we doing here? I don't know. That's like my number one thing I'm curious to see. More curious about that than I am about Vladdy and Bo and their walk years to see how they ball out. And I think they're both gonna ball out. But I it is how does George do, and then how much do we like let a guy who has no business being on the field be
Be
on the
on the
field?
field.
So
He is owed a lot of money, right? Like there is still 52 million left on his contract. And even if they need to buy him because there's some bold predictions out there by some Blue Jays analysts
yeah.
who have predicted that George Springer could be bought out this summer, which I mean, the Astros did it with Abreu last year, right? They paid, I think it was $37 million for him to just walk away and go play with the Marlins. Um,
Man, what do you think? And this is based purely on nothing, but like, what do you think Springer's attitude would be if he got his playing time severely? Like, if he's healthy, but he doesn't have it anymore, and he's just a bench piece. You think he's good for the clubhouse or bad for the clubhouse?
I don't know. That's a really good question.
He seems
I'm
so happy
He
and bubbly,
does. And
but
you know
there's
what?
also like ego at that level for a lot of guys, and like I just don't know if he'd be miserable. And like, I don't know. But also, it can't be good for the clubhouse to keep strutting him out there if he's not. Like, if everybody's pulling their weight and he's not, I don't think Bo and anybody else are going to be happy. They're like, hey, we got to fucking do this. What are we setting 4 at bats on fire every
Yeah.
game for? This is
What's really going to make this interesting, Adam, is to
buy
see
him out
what
now.
happens with the Buffalo Boys. Is there somebody who really steps up? Does Addison Barger light the world on fire in AAA? I mean, he had an
Yeah.
incredible spring. And I know there was a lot of people who were really shocked that that he was cut and put in
Mm-hmm.
AAA over a Nathan Lucas type of guy.
Yeah.
And again, we kind of summed
We
that up.
touched on that on
Yeah,
Monday.
we summed it up in our season preview of like it makes sense that they did that because they want Barger to continue
Keep
to
that
get
bat
every day at
active.
bats, whereas they're a little bit more prepared to sit a seasoned minor leaguer like Nathan Lucas, who is 30 going on 31, and not
Mm-hmm.
give him the reps. He can just sit on the bench and literally
Yeah.
never play until they either need to get George off his feet or
Mm-hmm.
Santander has a day off or whatever it may be. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's why they went with Lucas over Barger. But
Mm-hmm.
at what point do they start to go, Addison has to be in this lineup? He's too much power and too much um, offense to leave out of the lineup. And so
Yeah.
I think that's what George Springer is up against here is he has to play well enough and hope that these other guys don't light the world on fire.
Yeah. Yep.
Drop your comments. Let us know what you think. This one is from Blue Sky. Michelle reached out. Now, I know Blue Sky operates a little differently, so I need to be following you for you to be able to message. If I am not following you, just I tweet at me or whatever they call it on Blue Sky there, and I will follow back. So Michelle goes, "Hey, walk off. I'm trying again for mailbag. I haven't got in my last 2 attempts, but you always say keep trying." Very subtle, Michelle. I like that. It's like, okay, well, third time's the charm.
It's so much more effective than, hey, new listener here, first
Yeah.
time trying.
Yeah.
So,
Curious what you guys think. is this team's biggest weakness? To me, it seems like such a better team than last year, but wondering where some of the cracks might be. What, bullpen and depth? Is that too quick?
Um, Starting rotation for me is a big concern, man.
Yeah.
Just the age of it all. Max
Hmm.
Scherzer's thumb already. Like I'm trying to be optimistic about, like we talked about it at length on Monday about him and Rodriguez piggybacking each other.
Hmm.
But man, like we've just had such good luck with everybody staying healthy that just doesn't feel like it's sustainable forever.
Yeah, and I mean we have said this the last 2 or 3 years in a row. So
Yeah.
can Jose Barrios continue to be the horse Iron Man we've come to know and love? Can Kevin Gausman pitch more innings than last year and look more like the 2023 Gausman? Can Chris Bassett keep it together for one more year? Can Bowden Francis at least be a serviceable fourth guy in the rotation?
Yeah.
He had such a huge August and September for us last year and really found his footing as a starter. Can he carry that momentum into 2025? There are a lot of questions, and I think that's why if I'm going to pick a thing, it is depth. I do worry that if there is an injury, there isn't much in the way. And where I worry the most, I worry about the bullpen, I worry about the starting rotation, and I worry about catching. Um, knock on
I'm
all the wood.
honestly not as worried about catching. I don't know.
I'm pretty
I
worried about catching. If
yeah,
Alejandro has an injury, we are in rough.
I suppose.
I mean,
I suppose.
defensively they can limp through, but you're pretty much going to have catchers who don't contribute anything offensively, and that's always difficult to deal with.
Yeah, I guess it is does get pretty ugly pretty quick when I guess it would be 7, 8, 9 or 6, 7, 8 is Varsho, Springer, Heineman.
Hmm. Yeah.
Man, is that bleak, eh?
So
That-
again, I don't I'm
That's a
very
three up, three down, three times the game
I
kind of
will say
inning.
this. I'm
Ugh.
very excited about this season. I really am. And I do think that the Blue Jays have a real shot here to make the playoffs again and maybe even go on a run. I think that this is a very motivated squad and they have a lot of guys with a lot at stake, right? Both Vladdy and Bo, I mean, they are on expiring contracts. They are free agents at the end of the year. And if they're going to get those huge bags of money, both of them constantly are talking about it. I mean, maybe not Bo
Hmm.
as much, but Vladdy's lining up to talk to anyone who will hear him out about how
Maybe
badly,
that's how we get him on the podcast, eh? We should
right?
email his team and be like, so what's up with the Blue Jays lowballing you? You know how
Yeah,
much you're
that's
worth,
right.
right?
Oh yeah, that's the trick. Um, and the bullpen again, it really all comes down to depth for me. So yeah, catching is a concern depth wise. As it stands right now, if health holds up, I'm fine with it. If the bullpen holds up, it's fine. Right? Like again, it's
Yeah.
like your concern with starting pitcher. If they do what they have done in the past, we're okay.
Hmm.
The thing with the starting pitching is that we probably have more depth there if things go bad in July. If things go bad early, there's not much there.
Yeah.
You know, I would love to see Jake Bloss get some more reps under his belt and get some confidence at AAA. Alek Manoah is coming off of injury, but
Oh
he's not
yeah, I
going to be
forgot we had
ready.
Alek Manoah.
Forgot about Alek Manoah, but he's probably not ready until July.
Ugh.
So like there are depth pieces, just not right now. So again, if you're looking for the cracks in this team, in my opinion, it's depth. If we just want to put on a happy veneer and be like, listen, everything's gonna go okay, this team is okay.
If Alek Manoah is healthy this year, and we have bad tacos from our starting lineup, and he pitches July, August, September, and he gets like 12 to 15 starts and has like a 3-ish ERA.
Wow.
You lock him up?
No. Sure don't,
No,
buddy.
eh?
Sure don't.
No.
Now, if he has a really good 3 months coming off of injury and then you see some promise out of him in 2026, yeah, I think maybe then you sit down and you're
Oh,
like,
we've
listen,
learned nothing, Scott. We're going to be right back in the same issue we're at with Bo and Vladdy, where it's like, why did we lock him up when we had a chance in this season? Ugh. Like, this is the window, though. This is the thing, is if he's good at all, if he shows any sign of
strong
competence.
disagree. This is such a you're comparing apples and bananas. I like Bo and Vlad have a way better track record than
I'm
Alec
not
Manoah.
saying give Alec Manoah 700 million,
Give him the Kirky. Okay, I like that. Maybe you do give him the Kirky.
but whatever it is, yeah, give him a 5, 6 year deal at like 15 to 20 million, where it's like,
12.
hey,
Give him
sure,
12.
okay, whatever the scientists determine is like the best for global warming, give them that number. But I just mean like whatever it is, like you can pay him whatever league minimum and pre-arb and whatever until you know that he's back and gonna be good. But by then he's gonna be like, yeah, I'm back and I'm good and I want a Cy Young and
Yeah.
I'm a $300 million pitcher. Suck my asshole. Like
Yeah.
it's gonna be too late.
Yeah.
So I
Hopefully.
don't know. You're just
Hopefully.
out on the idea of an extension for Manoah.
Right now? Yes.
Well, right now, but this, I said, given a world
Yes.
where by the end of this season, he pitches for us, he gives us like half a season, like a reasonable sample size when you take into his sophomore season and
Yeah.
how good that was. Like, we know what the ceiling is on Alec Manoah,
Yeah.
right? If he's healthy, mentally and physically, psychologically there, then he can be a dominant pitcher. And like, if you want to get him at a reasonable rate, it would be now. It is not wait until he's proved it beyond a doubt, because then he's also going to know, yeah, I'm fucking 1 year away from a mega deal with the Astros or something. I don't know. I would give him again, if he is good and shows any sign of like rebound and arm health, I would not
Do you see
hesitate to
what
give
this
him
front
like a
office
six
has done
seven
to
year
you,
deal.
Adam? It has turned you into the snake bit man prepared to give Alec Manoah an extension if he shows you 3 good months. This is what has done Ross Atkins and Mark
Oh, when you
McMorrow have
put it like
completely
that,
fucked with you, buddy.
I guess I'm just like I'm so much happier to give out George Springer contracts, as much as I hate them,
Yeah.
than I am to give out a Juan Soto contract to anyone other than Juan Soto.
Yeah.
Like,
No, I'm with you.
giving Vladdy
Yeah.
650 million,
Oh,
man, is gonna
man.
be like,
Yeah.
oh, that's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough to cheer for him, even in a Jays uniform, honest to God, because I'm gonna feel like, man, did he ever handcuff us?
Yeah.
I loved Vernon Wells when Vernon Wells wasn't under a big contract.
Yeah.
And then as soon as he signed it, and it was like, oh man,
Yeah.
you piece of shit. You fucking
Yeah.
are a dead
Which is
weight
so
anchor
unfair.
around this
It is
franchise.
unfair because obviously it wasn't Vernon who offered the contract. It was the Blue Jays, but man, did he face plant. That was a tough one to take just watching his performance. Like the
All of
second
these
he
little
got big
factors,
money.
man, they like
Yeah.
weigh in on the like, should we pay Vladdy of it
Yeah.
all? And I'm like, oh man, we gave Vernon Wells like 100 million, and I hated every dollar of it. Like right away, I hated it.
All right.
Oh my God.
Going to YouTube here. We'll wrap things up here shortly. I know
Okay,
you are up against
I
the
gotta get
clock
going.
here.
Yeah,
So
off to the dentist.
Boom Must Die wrote in. He goes, and we were talking about Max Scherzer and his durability on the
Hmm.
season preview. And so Boom Must Die goes, I think Scherzer is gonna gut it out. And we will see him DL maybe a few times, but ultimately will give us 22 plus starts. Load management. It's going to be all about that. I think the Jays will be able to work Bloss, Manoah, Mako, Yariel, maybe Lauer and Kloffenstein, or Dare to Dream Yasavich into 2 or 3 starts at a time while Scherzer gets a break. I think Yariel is going to be a bulk innings guy for 2 to 4 innings when the Jays are down significantly until we see some consistency. So, yeah, I mean, listen, Adam Macca was another guy that was right on the verge. He wound up getting injured in spring training, which was such a bummer. He was going to come on the
Mm-hmm.
show. I know I wrote him and I was just like, hey, man, we'll circle back when you're a little
Yeah.
bit closer. And he was like, thank you so much. He's like, I'll just be more optimistic too. He's like, right
Who
now,
wants to come in and
yeah,
talk when their fucking dog
yeah,
just died? Yeah, I get
yeah,
it.
exactly. Um, you know what? Kloffenstein is an interesting scenario. He was a draft choice by the Blue Jays back in I think it was 2020. He was
Yeah.
one of their top prospects for a little while there.
Mm-hmm.
He wound up getting traded with Sem Roberts
Mm-hmm.
to the Cardinals for Jordan
Yeah.
Hicks there at the deadline in 2023. He's back with the organization. I mean, all of these guys, I am high on Jake Bloss. I really do think he has a ton of potential, but I'm not sure about him being stuck in there right now. He's still 23 and still struggling with control a little. Manoa's interesting. I don't know. I do like the positivity that Scherzer is going to gut it out. And if there's any guy out there who will do that, I think Max Scherzer is the guy, right? Who will just like, yeah, I'll pitch till my thumb falls off. Let's go get it. So
Yep.
BC Blizzard says Bullpen 2025. I think it's the best pen we've had in several years on paper. I was excited for Yarborough, and if there is a decision that comes back to bite this team, it may well be a great middle reliever raking them over in the Yankees pen. So
That one does have potential to sting. I'm
yeah,
gonna be honest.
yeah,
That one,
it's especially if Love Lady doesn't work out, you know.
yeah. Yeah, we'll see.
Slippery Tom wrote in. He goes, both Rowdy Tellez and Kevin Pillar made the M's and Rangers respectively. I saw this yesterday. Kevin Pillar made the Rangers. Holy crap, dude. Like, man, that's 11 years in the big leagues. This is a guy who was drafted, I think it was 458th overall. They don't even have the round that he was drafted in anymore. Like, literally, baseball was like, we got to cut like 10 rounds off. This is getting insane, right? Like,
32nd round he was drafted.
32nd round. Like, man, good for Kevin Pillar. 11
Hmm.
year big leaguer, makes the team with the Texas Rangers, and friend of the old Blue Jay, Rowdy Tellez. The whole reason Bowden Francis is with the Toronto Blue Jays. Rowdy Tellez moved to the Mariners, or the Mariners, the Milwaukee Brewers back. I think it was 2021 for Trevor Richards and Bowden Francis. That was when the bullpen was on
Yeah,
fire.
2021.
Yeah, yeah. So good for them. Love to see old Blue Jays continue to get reps
Rowdy
in the majors.
Rowdy Tellez, by the way, also drafted in the 30th round.
There you go. Couple
So
late rounders, late bloomers. All right. Last but not least, Sam C is me says, I love that you guys collab with Blue Jays today. I'm not even a Jays fan, but I think you guys have possibly the coolest YouTube fan base. Maybe it's cheating because it's one nation of sarcastic, sweetheart drunks rooting for one team. So, love that comment.
that's
And
great.
I love the boys from Blue Jays today. Listen, it's
Hmm.
funny because like I know that they get a lot of shit. And I've gone for beers with them numerous times, and it's nice to sit down and they get to vent a little bit about, they sometimes get picked on by other podcasts. I know we even had our thumbnail where it's like this changes everything, right? And I even was joking. I'm like, we did do that for you guys, and they were like, yeah, we and they have a really good sense of humor about themselves
Yeah,
too. They don't take themselves too seriously. So
yeah.
I really enjoy those guys. I love talking baseball with them. They are actually doing opening day tomorrow at Amsterdam Brewing. I'm going to be a special guest on the show there, so I'm excited to join them down at Amsterdam Brewing. And yeah,
Can I say my gripe with like the thumbnails and stuff of
yeah,
like this changes everything and whatever? It's not, I don't even have beef with them. That's how YouTube works, man.
It is how YouTube
Like
works.
anytime we're frustrated and that's like what comes out is like whatever. It might be directed at them, but it is not about it is
No.
just like that's the game. Don't hate the
Yeah.
player, hate the game, as they
Hate the
say,
game,
right? And
not the
it is
player.
just like
Exactly.
they're just good at the game. So it's like,
It's
it's
like,
easy to be like frustrated with as a like, oh, this is so fucking whatever. But it's
yeah.
like you guys are just doing what you're supposed to do and you're being successful.
Yeah.
And kudos to you. So
It's like Blue Jays Digest. Like I love those boys, and we've had them
yeah.
on the show numerous times. And like, my God, though, those thumbnails every time it's like something amazing and crazy has happened, and then you go in and you're like, oh, this is just the news that we
Yeah.
are also covering
Yeah. This is just
with our thumbnail that is like,
it's
news.
terrible. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's
Uh,
no, yeah, it is what it is. That's why we're 40 and
That's right.
struggling.
That's right.
So,
So, all right. Thank you so much to everyone who has followed along today. If you have yet to hit subscribe, do so. I know I'm supposed to do that off the top. Again, just another reason why our
we're
YouTube
so
size is
wildly successful.
wildly successful. But honestly, really appreciate you,
Uh,
grounds crew members. We wouldn't be here without you. Again, Baseball Town, April 17th. I'm going to put early bird tickets, the link up right now. That is Blake Murphy, Julia Cruz, and Mitch Bannon. We got the boys from Blue Jays today coming down. Our roast battle is the Seattle Mariners versus the Toronto Blue Jays.
that's
It's
gonna be
the
fun.
off day right before that Mariners Jays series. So it's going to be a fun show. Hopefully, we see a bunch of you out and enjoy your final few hours before opening day and real baseball. Cannot wait. Cheers, everybody.